Have you ever wondered why Walt Disney World feels different from every other amusement park? It's because while most theme parks are small destinations, Disney World is bigger than San Francisco and nearly twice the size of Manhattan. After years of exploring Disney and other parks, I've learned the insider moves that separate magical trips from miserable ones. In this video, we'll unpack 6 ways Disney flips the theme park rulebook, starting with a mistake most guests make on day 1. Treating Disney World like any other park could mean overlooking the immersive touches that make it feel like a world unto itself. Ready? Let's dive in. Number 1. A theme park versus a territory. Imagine your average amusement park. You park your car, stroll through a gate, loop around a few coasters, and you're back at your vehicle by dinner time. Most parks fit snugly into a few hundred acres. Walt Disney World threw that blueprint out the window. Its Florida property spans 27,258 acres, about 43 square miles, nearly twice the size of Manhattan, and comparable to all of San Francisco. When Walt stood on this land in the 1960s, he wasn't just planning bigger castles. He was orchestrating a self-contained environment. He famously said he felt 6 miles tall surveying the vast space. Each park is its own campus, separated by lakes and roadways. About 1/3 of the property, more than 8,000 acres, is set aside as protected wildlife conservation land, so bald eagles and deer live a short distance from Cinderella Castle. The other theme park in Orlando, by contrast, squeezes 2 parks and its City Walk complex into just roughly 540 acres. You can see all their gates from one spot. Disney's size isn't just for bragging rights. It creates an island of fantasy, insulated from the real world. Those miles of buffer act like an invisible moat. When you cross under the Walt Disney World Gateway on World Drive, your brain subconsciously switches from "I'm near Orlando" to "I'm in the magic." Most theme parks exist within cities. Disney deleted the city around it, making the property feel like a county of its own. That territorial mindset allows for storytelling on a canvas unlike anywhere else. Because they own the lakes, roads, and forests, Imagineers can craft environments, not just rides. You can boat across Seven Seas Lagoon to Magic Kingdom, drive past a herd of giraffes grazing near Animal Kingdom Lodge, or bike through Fort Wilderness's pine trails. Understanding that Disney World is a territory helps set realistic expectations. Simple things like commuting between the parks take longer here. Many first-time visitors plan to hop from Magic Kingdom to Hollywood Studios like it's just a short walk from one gate to another. But the reality is closer to an hour once you account for walks, lines, and transportation. Because there's room to build, Disney didn't just add hotels at the entrance like other parks. It sprinkled more than 24 resorts across property, each with its own character. It's a choose-your-own-adventure that simply doesn't exist at smaller parks. And that leads us into the second big difference. Number 2, from day trip to bubble, why you don't leave. Most amusement parks assume you'll arrive when the gates open, ride all day, and drive away for dinner. The surrounding hotels, restaurants, and bars you'll patronize are usually independent businesses. Walt Disney World turns that model on its head by building an entire ecosystem that makes staying on property not just convenient, but compelling. There are more than 25 Disney Resort hotels scattered across the property, ranging from value hotels with larger-than-life icons to deluxe villas with savanna views. You could spend an entire vacation hopping between them and never set foot in a park. Disney operates its own bus system linking every resort to every park and to Disney Springs. Official information notes that resort guests can travel by bus, boat, or monorail, with service starting 45 minutes before park opening and running up to an hour after closing. Buses from Disney Springs continue until 11 p.m. That means you can shop for souvenirs after the parks close and still catch a bus back to your hotel. The system isn't perfect, but it reduces the cognitive load of driving and parking. Then there's the monorail, one of Disney's most iconic features. This 3-line network includes an express line from the main parking hub to Magic Kingdom, a resort loop serving 3 hotels, and a longer route to Epcot. According to transportation enthusiasts, the monorail fleet of 12 6-car trains carries around 50 million passengers annually across nearly 15 miles of track. It's both a ride and a commute, gliding through the atrium of Disney's contemporary resorts and offering aerial views of Bay Lake and Spaceship Earth. Add in the Skyliner, a gondola system connecting Caribbean Beach, Riviera Resort, Pop Century, and Art of Animation to Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios, and you've got a transportation network unmatched by any other park. Disney's strategy becomes clear when you look at what's inside the bubble. Disney intentionally offers so many options that you never feel compelled to leave the resort and go into the city. They also built their benefits to reward guests who commit to the bubble with perks, extended park hours, and more. This vacation ecosystem has a subtle benefit. Disney controls your journey. Because they own the roads, the signage, and the transport, they choreograph your trip from start to finish. That might sound Orwellian, but most guests find it liberating. These experiences aren't upsells, they're part of the canvas that makes Walt Disney World feel like a living place rather than a series of thrill rides. Before moving on, pay attention to one more subtlety as you shuttle around. You rarely see dumpsters, maintenance trucks, or crew members in uniform. That's not a coincidence, it's a glimpse of the next opposite we'll explore. Number 3. Theme parks show operations. Disney hides them. Think about your last visit to a regional theme park. You probably saw maintenance trucks rattling along service roads, teenagers in uniform on break, and chain-link fences revealing storage sheds. Disney World decided early on that such realities had no place in its show. Here, the gears of the machine are hidden so the fantasy never breaks. The Magic Kingdom, for example, isn't built at ground level. It sits on top of a network of utility corridors, that run like a circulatory system beneath the park. When Imagineers excavated the Seven Seas Lagoon, they piled that earth to raise the park and create a first floor of tunnels. Within these utilidors, cast members can traverse every land without crossing the stage. Deliveries are made unseen. Costumed characters pop up in the right land without walking through another. And a pneumatic vacuum system sucks trash through tubes to a compactor, which means you'll never see streaks from leaky garbage bags running down Main Street. Disney doesn't stop at tunnels. The parks are designed with meticulous sightlines. Stand on Main Street, USA, and try to spot the turnstiles you just walked through. You can't, because buildings and trees hide them. Look across Epcot's World Showcase Lagoon and you'll see only the facades of Canada and Mexico, not the backstage road behind them. According to an article on theme park design, the key to Disney's visual illusion lies in what you don't see. Control panels, trash collection points, and loading docks are concealed behind themed fences and berms. Why go through all this trouble? Because removing reminders of the real world keeps you immersed in the story. Cleanliness at Disney isn't the result of fewer messes, it's the result of infrastructure that makes messes disappear. When you never see a dumpster or a distracted employee, your brain maintains the illusion that you're in a fantasy land. The hidden machine lets the stage shine. However, you don't need to expose yourself to enjoy the art of Disney's illusion. Simply knowing that the backstage is hidden on purpose can enhance your appreciation. By making operations invisible, Disney shifts your attention to its environment, and that environment isn't just filler between rides. It's the next key reversal. Number 4. Theme parks are ride first. Disney is story first, and that starts with the environment. Traditional amusement parks funnel their budgets into headline rides and treat the space between them as functional corridors. Disney flips that philosophy. Here, the walkways, gardens, architecture, and even the pavement are part of the attraction. They're designed to tell stories and move you emotionally from one scene to the next. Jeff Morosky, a landscape architect at Walt Disney Imagineering, explains that the goal is to create immersive environments that serve the storytelling. He describes a toolbox of berms, varied paving, themed walls, water features, color palettes, and carefully selected tree canopies that manage views and even provide shade. In other words, the plants and pavement matter just as much as the animatronics. An article on Disney's landscaping notes that Imagineers choose specific flowers, trees, and greenery for each land so that even the flora hints at the narrative. Adventureland is lush with jungle foliage. Liberty Square is shaded by stately oaks and period-appropriate herb gardens. Tomorrowland features clean lines and futuristic plantings. Many guests don't consciously notice these choices, but their brains register the cohesive theme. Consider the queue for Pirates of the Caribbean. Rather than a bare switchback line, you meander through Spanish fortifications with cannons, weathered stone, and the scent of the sea. By the time you board your boat, you feel like you stepped into a 17th century Caribbean port. Or think of Animal Kingdom's Africa section. The cracked plaster walls, hand-painted advertisements, and uneven dirt roads make you feel like you're exploring a real East African village. You're entertained even between rides. Disney's commitment to environment goes beyond theming. Sometimes the environment itself is the attraction. At Epcot's Land Pavilion, for example, 2.5 million square feet of active greenhouses produce much of the food served in the park's restaurants and function as a living laboratory. The Living with the Land boat ride glides through these working greenhouses, showcasing vertical growing systems and hydroponics that harvest over 27,000 heads of lettuce a year. Where else does a theme park turn sustainable agriculture into entertainment? This blending of education, innovation, and immersion underscores that Disney doesn't see its parks as a collection of thrill machines, but as a curated environment where every element can tell a story. First-timers often sprint from ride to ride, but those of us who know the parks well plan time to wander. Slowing down also allows you to witness transitions between lands. Notice how the music shifts gradually from banjo music in Frontierland to patriotic drum and fife tunes in Liberty Square. Observe how the pavement changes from rustic boards to cobblestones to crisp, futuristic tiles. Feel how the air smells different: popcorn and vanilla on Main Street, salt water near Pirates, spices in Morocco. Your senses are being guided along a narrative path, even when you're not riding anything. You now know Disney hides its operations underground and treats its landscaping as a character in the story. If that surprised you, stick around. In the final segment here, we'll explore how Disney extends your vacation beyond park hours and why its master plan stretches decades into the future. Ready? Let's continue. Number 5. Theme parks end at closing time. Disney doesn't. In most parks, the rides stop and the lights go out when the gates close. You shuffle through the exit, find your car, and the thrills and amusement are over. Disney World rejects that curfew. The vacation keeps pulsing into the night, with entertainment, dining, and transportation that extend well past traditional operating hours. The boardwalk comes alive after dark. The dueling piano bar Jelly Rolls keeps its sing-along energy going until 1:45 a.m., while Atlantic Dance Hall spins tunes after 1 a.m. Street performers juggle and tell jokes on the boardwalk esplanade. If you're at Epcot during the International Festival season, you can catch concerts at the America Gardens Theater after the sun sets. Over at Disney Springs, live bands play on multiple stages and restaurants stay open until midnight or later. The atmosphere here feels like a cross between a downtown district and a film set, with glowing neon, designer shops, rooftop bars, and waterfront views. Many resort lobbies host nighttime entertainment that casual visitors don't expect. The Grand Floridian lobby fills with piano melodies or string trios, while at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, you might find an African storyteller by the fire pit. Fort Wilderness holds campfire sing-alongs with Chip and Dale. Movie nights under the stars take place at most resorts. These touches turn the end of the park day into the beginning of something else. Of course, late-night fun isn't possible without a way to get back to your room. Disney's transportation system works overtime after the fireworks. Official schedules indicate that buses start 45 minutes before park opening and run up to an hour after closing, with buses to Disney Springs operating until 11 p.m. Monorail and Skyliner service continues past closing to clear the parks. This means you can watch Epcot's Luminous, the Symphony of Us, stroll to the bus stop, then ride to another resort for dinner, or catch the Skyliner back to your hotel. The transportation network makes it effortless to string together dining, entertainment, and relaxation after the ride stop. Savvy visitors know to treat nighttime as its own attraction. Book a late reservation at Trader Sam's Grog Grotto at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, where the bartenders trigger special effects with each drink order. Take a ferry across the Seven Seas Lagoon and watch the vintage electrical water pageant light up the water with glowing sea serpents. Stroll the nearly empty World Showcase at the end of the night and enjoy a private feeling walkthrough of France or Japan. If you're staying off-site, pay attention to bus schedules. The last bus to Disney Springs leaves at 11 p.m., so plan your ride accordingly. And if you stay on property, embrace the extended evening hours, which allow deluxe resort guests to enjoy select parks for 2 hours after closing. These extras give the night its own rhythm. By keeping the world alive after dark, Disney elongates your vacation into a 24-hour experience. But that endlessness requires planning and investment on a scale beyond other parks. How does Disney sustain this? It's tied to the final and perhaps most important opposite. Number 6. Theme parks react, Disney plans, decades ahead. Most amusement parks add attractions reactively. Attendance dips, a competitor opens a new ride, and management responds. They often run out of room or run into zoning battles. Disney World plays a different game. It isn't just a park. It's a 43-square-mile experiment in urban planning and long-term investment. Disney intentionally overbought acreage so it would never feel hemmed in. In March 2024, CEO Bob Iger reiterated that the company has thousands of acres of land to develop and could build 7 new full lands around the world, including the ability to increase the size of Disneyland. This isn't just corporate bravado, it's a statement of capacity. The company intentionally sits on undeveloped land so it can respond to market opportunities, new intellectual properties, and technological innovations without acquiring more real estate. That long view is reflected in formal planning. The Central Florida Tourism Oversight District approved a $17 billion development deal, allowing Disney to build a major new theme park and 2 minor parks in the next 15 years. These aren't just rumors, they are baked into the county planning documents. Few theme park operators have the resources or the land to contemplate new gates 20 years in advance. Disney also designs current parks with expansion pads and long-term flexibility. Epcot's World Showcase features spare plots between existing country pavilions, ready for future additions. When Disney announced a Tropical Americas land called Pueblo Esperanza to replace Dinoland USA, it fit neatly into an existing space rather than requiring new property. Even Magic Kingdom has areas like behind Big Thunder Mountain that are earmarked for future lands teased at D23 Expos. Long-term planning also ensures infrastructure keeps pace. When new lands open, transportation networks already exist to support them. When Disney Springs was massively expanded, new garages and a rerouted entrance highway were already in the works. With thousands of acres to spare, Disney can't afford to be patient. Other parks might rush to open a 5th gate to make headlines. Disney can evaluate attendance patterns, guest feedback, and economic trends, then choose the right moment to act. What might the future hold? It's plausible we'll see another major park in Florida by the late 2030s, perhaps focusing on villains or beloved Pixar stories. Minor parks could be boutique experiences akin to a water park, a seasonal events venue, or a tech-driven interactive park. And with Disney's stewardship of its stories, Marvel, Star Wars, Frozen, Encanto, the pipeline of themes seems endless. For guests, this means the Walt Disney World you visit in 2030 may look and feel very different from today's version. Yet, it will still honor the original vision of a place that never stops growing. So, here's the question I'll leave you with. Does Disney's total control make the experience more magical or more unsettling? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you experienced Disney after midnight? Do you think they should build a 5th park, or is 4 enough? If this deep dive gave you a new perspective, please like this video and share it with the Disney lover in your life. Subscribe to Castle Compass for more expert tips, hidden histories, and inside looks at the theme parks around the world. And if you're ready for another adventure right now, click on the next video that just popped up on your screen. It's a perfect follow-up to this one. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Your adventure is just beginning.